So before the main event occurred in DC Comics, we've had many mini events that have spilled out onto the comic book pages. We have Trial of the Amazon, which I've been trying to get through, and I just can't. There's the War for Earth 3 miniseries that took about a month time. And then this most recent one, Shadow War, which actually leads us right into the large event that DC Comics is doing, that being the Dark Crisis, which will range from June all the way to December of 2022. However, I'm specifically wanting to look at the mini event, the Shadow War, because not only was it enjoyable, but I feel as though this is exactly what a kind of a mini event should be. And, I did enjoy the War for Earth 3. I'm slogging my way through Trial of the Amazon just because of it feels like a forced event, really, with not really much planning going into the whole thing, except, hey, let's use Wonder Woman and do something with her. But that's besides the point. So, this features one of DC's most prominent writers currently with them, and that is Joshua Williamson. It's overseeing the majority of this mini event, and at his disposal, having the really great talent of Victor Bogdanovich and Howard Porter, just to name a few of the artists that are working on this crossover event. Now, I'm just going to go in and just start reviewing, and again, spoilers will be happening. Issue number 1, the Shadow War Alpha, starts out with following the events from the Robin book, where Damian fought in a death tournament. I will tell you, that is a great series. I strongly recommend picking that one up. So from the pages of Robin, we have, bleeding into this story, the Raja Ghul, who is slowly dying and is refusing to go into the Lazarus pit for some unknown reason. Also, he decides to turn himself and Talia in for their crimes of their past. Again, once Raj is killed, supposedly by Deathstroke, we also get this great strained father-son relationship between Damian and Bruce that has been in place ever since the death of Alfred, a couple of years ago. Talia is a target for Deathstroke's assassination, but unlike the kill shot to her father, she only receives a flesh wound. And, this begs the question that most people, characters in this comic didn't notice. How could Deathstroke miss? Isn't he the greatest assassin ever? And then, of course, Deathstroke is confronted by his men for being so brazen and to murder Raja Ghul, especially in front of reporters and cameras and whatnot. He denies the whole thing, citing that he was with his newest son, Respawn, which, can be, information can be seen from that from the Robin series as well as the Deathstroke Inc. series for further background. In Batman 122, Damian sets off to avenge his murdered grandfather, but Batman does some investigation work, noting that the oddity of the Deathstroke miss, which leads Batman to confront Talia, where perhaps a relationship gets rekindled. Back to the pages of Deathstroke Inc. number 8, Deathstroke's mercenaries are trying to fight off Talia's assassins while Deathstroke goes into hiding in a San Francisco hideout that he used when he was trying to target the Teen Titans of old back in the day. When we get to Robin 13, we have that hiding from Batman and Talia is one thing, but Damian, who's also working alongside Deathstroke's daughter Rose, is completely another thing. Eventually, Respawn tells Damian about the connection between him, Raj, and Deathstroke, creating a very interesting family dynamic and possible a fun family reunion. Batman, being the greatest detective, tracks them down, and while at the same time, Talia begins to torture Deathstroke's mercenaries on screen, which is horrendous. You have this plea for, I just tell me where he is and we won't kill him right here. And, it's fantastic. The writing in this is so riveting. I love it. Batman 123, Batman assigns Batman Inc. and Ghostmaker to protect Deathstroke's mercenaries, and Batman and Damian work together to uncover the identity of the fake Deathstroke. Meanwhile, the real Deathstroke and Respawn come under attack from the Al Ghul's League of Shadows, ending with the supposed, I'm going to say supposed because I'm still not convinced that this happens, or, it stays permanent, but the supposed death of Respawn. In Shadow War Zone number 1, which is the issue that you might need, you might not need, I think the only purpose for this issue was to bring the Black Canary back into the storyline where she was introduced working alongside Deathstroke in the pages of Deathstroke Inc. And then additionally, I think they're getting ready to set up the future Batman Inc. comic series because we have a story featuring Luke Fox as well as Ghostmaker and Clown Hunter. In Deathstroke Inc. number 9, while Slade Wilson is still reeling from the death of Respawn, Batman and Damian track down the fake Deathstroke in a battle, and battles obviously ensue. Deathstroke finds his men that are being watched by Batman Inc. and Ghostmaker, demanding that they are set free because he has revenge on his mind and would like a full complement of soldiers when he attacks Talia for murdering his son. In Robin 14, Talia's assassins fight off Deathstroke and his men, and the father-son relationship begins to rise once more as Bruce wants the best for Damian and admits that Alfred's death was not Damian's fault alone. He should not be burdening himself with such a rock. Though Batman only wants Damian to be safe, Damian pleads for Bruce to merely just trust him, at which point Damian jumps from an airplane without a glider, without anything, requiring Bruce/Batman to save him and bring him directly into the action that is ensuing. After a long-fought battle, Talia gets the best of Deathstroke, killing him in front of Rose and the fake Deathstroke, revealing the fake Deathstroke to be Geoforce, Prince Brionne of Markovia. Shadow War Omega number 1, we revisit the reveal from the previous issue, where Prince Brionne explains what he's doing, why he's doing it, and, there's only 2 people on the face of the earth that he hates. He hates Slade Wilson, and he hates Talia al Ghul for, specific reasons. An amazing battle between Geoforce, Damian, Batman, Talia, and Rose ensues with fantastic art, amazing action scenes. I was riveted reading this thing. I went back and revisited the entirety of this series. The fall of Geoforce provides Batman with the opportunity to trust Damian and working on rebuilding the frayed father-son relationship. This is a great, compelling mini-event that, even though they do have an epilogue that connects this to the DC Dark Crisis event, if this was just a standalone, this is how you write mini crossover events, which would be good for trade paperbacks. Whatever they did with Trial of the Amazons just didn't work. And I will tell you, I do want to do a War for Earth 3 because there is some greatness in that storyline, and there is falling flat on your face also in that storyline. But this is how you write a mini crossover event. I love this. This is a 10 out of 10. I cannot recommend this enough. If you ever find yourself staring at this in a Barnes & Noble or whatever for a trade paperback, pick it up. You will not be disappointed. I hope you enjoyed this review of Shadow Wars featuring 8-ish, 9-ish issues. I did a complete summary of the whole thing, but you know what? Again, I told you at the very beginning, spoilers would be happening. Spoilers did happen, but I think you should, you owe yourself this for a great read. Thank you for watching and downloading. Subscribe, like, whatever. I guess I'm being shadow banned because nobody's watching any of the videos. So yeah. Anyway, thank you again and keep reading.